everyone, it's me, Andy, from the Commander's Brew. This here is Lost Cards. We're talking about Katilda, and we've got a bunch of different ways to make a human-centric deck in Selesnya with big mana. Check it out. All right, here we go. It is Katilda. It's Lost Cards. Katilda, Dawnhart Prime. Cool new Selesnya commander from Midnight Hunt. If you watched the original episode, we did a pretty classic take on Katilda. We just made a bunch of human tokens. We tapped them all for mana, and we had a lot of like benefits from having a bunch of tapped creatures, and we had some big X spells and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. It was a surprisingly, I don't know, innovative deck somehow, which it seems like it, how on earth could it be? But it was a lot of fun. But here we are, Lost Cards. We're going to take a look at some of the other angles that we didn't fully explore in that deck. And the first one that comes to mind, and I love it when you can do decks both ways like this. The first one is less tokens. The first one is like not really taking tokens. So obviously Katilda wants you to make a bunch of humans because they tap for mana, and then she puts counters on them and stuff like that. Obviously the protection from werewolves is very, very good. Also, we're not going to talk about it. But you can also do this without tokens. Totally. There's a ton of like low costed humans that are going to give you nice benefits. Some of them right off the bat here, we have Heron's Grace Champion. This probably could have gone in the original deck too, actually. It's just a 4-mana 3/3 with Flash. It's got lifelink, and it ETBs, and other humans get a +1/+1 buff, and they gain lifelink until end of turn. You can do some stuff where we're blinking stuff, with these humans.
Yeah, we got white.
Exactly. White's really good at that. White loves that sort of thing. A green-white blink deck is kind of interesting. We haven't really seen...
Yeah, all about humans.
It's always blue and white that does it, but you could probably do a pretty good one with green-white.
Yeah.
This one's also good for tribal strategies. Again, could have gone in the other version, but Herald's Horn, it's kind of a commander... It's a bit of a staple when it comes to it.
It's come down in price.
But yeah, exactly. I think it got a reprint or something, and
a couple of them.
It's gonna lower. It's mostly what it's gonna do is it's gonna get us a creature card once in a while, right? You look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you can reveal it, put it in your hand. If we're leaning away from tokens, we have less of those sorceries that make the tokens. We have more actual creatures that are humans. Herald's Horn's gonna trigger off of those a lot more often, and it's going to be a really, really good card. I mean, it is a good card no matter what anyways. But yeah, Sean, take this one. Controversial include here, but we got to talk about it if we're talking humans.
Well, from The Walking Dead Secret Lair, Rick. Steadfastly,
it's a card.
2 white. It's a black border, baby. Human soldier. As Rick enters the battlefield, choose 2 abilities from among First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Humans you control have each of the chosen abilities, and as long as you control 4 or more humans you control get +2/+2. I'm used to needing to have 5 or less life to give all your humans +2/+2.
Yeah, you're a Fateful Hour guy.
Yeah, I'm a Fateful Hour guy, but this is way easier.
Yeah, way, way, way easier.
Well, is it okay? What's harder? Getting your life to 5 in a game of Commander, or acquiring a Rick?
Or buying a Rick. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to get a Rick, I think.
Is it? Wow, yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
I mean,
limited numbers, right?
If you turn, I mean, what does Rick go for?
I have no idea.
$50. Rick is $50.
$50. Forget it, Rick.
So if you're making $10 an hour at a job, that's like it's only 5 hours of work, 5 hours of waiting tables
taxes,
to get yourself a Rick.
You got to pay taxes. You got to pay that unemployment
so minus
insurance.
Taxes. Okay, so
if you're part of the union, you got to pay those union dues.
Okay, 6.5 hours to get a Rick.
That's a full shift, right? Like for. Depending on where you work, that could be a full shift.
Well, okay, but let's not overlook. You get to walk around your whole shift going, Rick shift, Rick shift, Rick shift.
This is my Rick shift. This is my Rick shift.
I just think every interaction on the clock is just going towards that Rick.
I'm just picturing someone at a Wendy's, like putting the fries in. It's going like Rick shift. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, whatever gets you through the day.
Right? Of course. I forgot to.
Your coworker Rick is just like,
Yeah.
do they have a crush on me?
Going on? You know what? That's a fun thing to do if you do just work with a guy named Rick. Just to sing Rick shift when you have a shift with Rick. That's just nice, I think.
Yeah.
Just be like,
do it for your favorite coworker, Christine Shift.
yeah, Albert shift. I love it. That's a lot of fun. This is my Sean shift. Sean shift.
I feel that, you know what? I know we're joking, but that really does feel nice.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad. The other thing I forgot to mention this in the main show, so I might as well say it here. Because we made so many tokens in the original deck, you actually end up mostly only being able to tap those for white. So there is also, I think, there could be a version here where, we have some green in the deck to help us with Katilda, but you can almost like lean towards like a mono white humans deck with her at the helm, and then you don't even care about what color that they make, because Katilda says that the creatures tap for whatever color they have. It's like Convoke. It's kind of like a weird Convoke, right? So yeah, if you could, lean into Rick kind of being like a lieutenant type thing, and I mean, let's stop saying Rick for one thing, just have you could kind of have a mono white humans deck. You'd be pretty happy with that, I think.
Oh, that's right. The comma is subtitle. His full name is just Rick. They don't give him a last name on this.
No, they don't. One other way we kind of touched on it in the main deck there, the main episode, was sacrificing your humans, right? Especially if you've got a token build. We're happy to sacrifice things. This is a good one for, again, this thing where you have a good mix of tokens and regular humans, kind of like we had here, but Evolutionary Leap, killer card. We always love to include these in any kind of green sacrifice-based deck, right? You're paying a single green, sacking a creature, and then just like looking for the next creature card, essentially. It's incredible, right? So
this card's so good.
I know, I love it. And it goes in your hand, so like it's not
73 cents.
Exactly. And I love that it's like kind of underpowered in that way. So it goes to our hand. We don't get to just drop it for free. And because of that, it's 73 cents. Like, I love it. This is a real Commander's Brew card. Evolutionary Leap.
Yeah.
We love this card. We've loved it ever since it came out. I remember when it came out in Origins, and we were very happy about it. I continue to be happy about it. I would build entire decks around this card. I kind of have, actually.
And here's how long we've liked this card. The Origins set review was that our third episode?
You're right. Yes, I remember, because we brewed with Nissa from that set really early.
The Flip Commanders.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow, that's
episode 3.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, there you go. Because we weren't doing reviews back then. We didn't do like a full set review.
No,
we started doing that later.
Right.
So Nissa was our Magic Origins episode. We did Nissa and something else. We must have. I think we did
Nissa, and
I did Nissa and you did Kithian.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did.
Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta look at that deck.
Do some updates. But yeah, Evolutionary Leap. I mean, there's tons of good green sacrifice stuff. There's actually a good amount of white sacrifice stuff. I mean, there's a lot of graveyard.
Yeah.
Like you can basically build like a Golgari or like a Sultai style of deck with Celestia colors. It's great. Kind of turns out that all the colors in Magic are good at this. Like blue doesn't sacrifice a lot, but kind of every other color does. Green, white, black, red. Anyways. Another one, Sean, if you want, you can take this. This one here.
It's built in from Midnight Hunt. Sigarda, Champion of Light. 1 green, white. Angel. We're leaning towards angels. This is a 4/4 with Flying Trample. All your humans get +1/+1. And we've got Coven. So whenever Sigarda attacks, if you got 3 or more creatures with different powers, that's what Coven says. Look at the top 5 cards, reveal 1 human, put it into your hand, the rest on the bottom.
So that's cool.
Dece,
right?
Dece.
Like that would, again, that's probably, most of these cards are probably fine in our main deck from the main episode, but this is where we kind of focus on them a little bit more. So there's other Sigardas too, right? There's the Heron of whatever, here, the Heron, Hero of Herons or something.
Heron's Grace.
Is that it? Yeah, the one that really cares about humans. And then that's like the previous, I feel like, default human commander. But then you know there's a lot of interactions with angels. There's obviously there's the devout invocation, and then there was one, I thought I included it here. I guess I didn't. It's the angel that, like, as long as you control a human, it has like indestructible and hexproof.
Oh,
Angelic
yeah.
Overseer, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Angelic Overseer, 5 mana, 5/3, and it has flying, but it's hexproof and indestructible. So like you could do a thing where you kind of are suiting up maybe an angel. This is a great candidate to like put some equipment on or something like that. You could even, you know, you can just kind of have this like, you could kind of have the humans as like your base, as like your ramp, make a few tokens, but then have all the big hitters be angels, and yeah, you could, you know, toss some equipment in there and, you know, have a nice like evasive flying deck that looks like it's fun. A human deck when you sit down to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I mean, like that could be where all your mana goes, right? Like I think that could be a cool deck.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I agree. There you go. I mean, that's you know, one thing I didn't put here actually, +1/+1 counters. You could heavily lean into a +1/+1 counter theme here because you've got you know, Katilda for 6 mana, and tapping her puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So you get stuff like in, where is it? Well, that's not what it is. I was gonna. This isn't it. It's inspiring. No, not inspiring statuary. That card's good though. But there's a card.
Inspiring charge.
That's what it is. Thank you.
I'm just pulling out names with inspiring. I don't actually know what that card does.
Actually, that is not what it's called. Whatever. It's like a 2 or 3 mana green card that lets you gives all your creatures with +1/+1 counters on them indestructible, and lets you draw a card for each creature you have with a +1/+1 counter on it. It's in the main deck, but obviously it's an auto include if we're talking about really leaning towards the +1/+1 counters. Yeah, you can back things up with what's his name there? The green guy from starts with a P.
Green guy starts with P. Pelugranos.
No, he makes things with +1/+1 counters on them. Tap for mana. Is it a P? I'm losing my...
Pima. No, they're from Pima, and the person's name Rishkar.
Why do I think P?
Because Rishkar Pima Renegade.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, you're right. Look at that, Rishkar Pima Renegade. Okay, yeah, this card's great in that because it's kind of a redundant effect with Katilda, but it's nice to have those effects, right? Like eventually your Katilda could end up costing a lot, especially if you end up playing with a deck, especially the original deck, more than once with a play group. They're going to figure out that, like, we can't let your commander just sit here and make all this mana, right? So they're going to come for your commander eventually.
Yeah.
First game, you might get away with it. Second game, maybe even 2. But eventually, if you're playing with your same friends, you're going to need to have a little backup so that, you know, so that you can actually, your deck can actually function. And Rishkar is the kind of backup you want to see in that +1/+1 version of the deck, for sure. Well, there you have it. Lost cards. There's a lot of ways to brew humans, actually. I was surprised to find, and especially with Katilda here, you know, she gives you some cool options. I don't know what the protection from werewolves deck looks like. I don't know. There was a very brief discussion about, like, can we turn all of our opponent's creatures into werewolves? And I was like, I don't even want to ask about that. You know, like
the only
you somehow you'd have to get into different colors, and you'd have to donate them a conspiracy or something. Like,
it would involve getting, like, you're not going to turn them all into werewolves. Maybe you can turn them all into all creature types, which would also include werewolves. But
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, again, not even really worth talking about. It seems like it's way too complicated. I have built decks like that in the past, and let me tell you, they don't usually work that well. But there you go. That's Lost Cards for this week. Check us out next week. We'll be back. Brand new deck tech. Brand new Lost Cards again. And again, remember, if you didn't see it, check out Katilda, Dawnhart Prime that we just did. Previous episode here for the main deck tech. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCG Player affiliate link below.
That helps us out too. And for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.